So what is an LLC and how does it benefit your business? Hi, my name is Richard James. I'm going to be talking about the Limited Liability Company. I'll be talking about how it can benefit you and your small business. There's a couple of key things that a limited liability company can do for you. The first is going to be liability protection. So we'll talk about that. As a limited liability company, you have fewer corporate formalities. You have the option to select different tax classifications for your business. You get to enjoy pass-through taxation. And then there's also flexibility in how you distribute those profits. So let's start from the top. We'll talk about that limited liability protection and how that works. When you form an LLC, you're creating a separate entity within your state that separates liability from your personal assets to your business assets. So having that LLC structure can prevent your personal assets for being responsible for the debts or the liabilities of your company. So this can be huge. There's definitely some boxes that you want to check that we cover in additional trainings here at James Family Tax. But that's a huge benefit to businesses, especially if you're dealing with real estate, if you're dealing with a business that may have a higher liability or a high chance of being sued by a potential, customer or a disgruntled customer. And there's one thing that is true of businesses: lawsuits do happen. So having that protection can be key, and it can be a huge benefit to you. Secondly, fewer corporate formalities. So when you are a limited liability company, this election was actually made available to small businesses so that they didn't have to go through the whole corporate structure of having a board of directors and following all of the corporate guidelines and regulations. So there's a lot more flexibility. You can run your small business as a limited liability company. So you get to take advantage of some of the benefits of that limited liability company without as much red tape. There's still some compliance elements that you want to make sure that you are keeping track of with your limited liability company. And again, that's something that we also cover in some additional trainings here. As an LLC, there is no specific tax classification for that type of entity structure. You do have some default tax classifications the IRS will give you. If you're a single member LLC, you'll be considered a disregarded entity, which means you're going to file your tax return on a Schedule C, just as you would if you were a DBA. If you're a partnership or a multi-member LLC, you will have that partnership tax classification. But one of the really cool things about an LLC is you can actually elect to be taxed differently than your default. So for example, as an LLC, you can elect S corporation status. This is a tax election that the IRS provides small business owners. And this can be a huge benefit to your company. And you simply just need to make the election to the IRS to be able to take advantage of those benefits. That's something that you cannot do as a DBA. So again, that's another benefit of having a limited liability company. Pass-through taxation. This means that your business is only taxed one time. So if you are a single member LLC, if you're a multi-member LLC, if you're a multi-member LLC or single member LLC that's electing S Corp classification, you're a pass-through entity. That means that all of the taxes that they are taxed at the individual level at the member level. This can be a huge benefit because that means that you're not taxed twice. If you're a corporation, you're taxed at the corporate level and then also taxed at the shareholder level. So as an LLC, you can avoid that corporate taxation and that double taxation. There are instances where the corporate tax structure may be of a benefit, but generally speaking, for most small businesses, having that pass-through taxation is a huge advantage. And lastly, the distributions of your company's profits are flexible. As an LLC owner, in your operating agreement amongst your members, you can allocate distributions disproportionately, depending on how you decide those distributions should be arranged with the members. Now, you want to make sure that things are fair, you want to make sure things are legal in this sense, but this can be a huge advantage for people that you may be bringing on as investors into your company. If you've got people that are key contributors to your company, you can allocate those distributions accordingly. And so that can be very attractive to people that want to invest in small business or put in a membership stake into a small business. The limited liability company gives you that flexibility in distributions. So just to recap on some of the advantages to having a limited liability company, we talked about the fact that you've got liability protection. There are fewer corporate formalities as a limited liability company. There are specific tax classifications that you can elect as a limited liability company. You can take advantage of pass-through taxation, and then, as I just mentioned, the ability to distribute those profits as your members see fit. So I hope this is helpful. We'll have a deeper dive into some of these topics in some of our other videos. Again, I hope this is a benefit to you. Thanks for watching.